here. And actually in Miami, it feels like it, which is nice. We got like a huge snowstorm out west. I was watching on the news today, right on the weekend, it's supposed to feel like spring. So we're very lucky if you're in Miami to have this beautiful weather, be able to get outside. Let's start to find a comfortable seat on the mat as we start this week, like start it refreshed and energized. So it's nice that you made the time on your mat, time for yourself. Feel grounded wherever you are, right? So either here your sit bones are down, depending on how you're sitting, maybe your knees are grounding down. I want you to gently engage your core here. Already start to feel the strength of your front body, right? It's important, not swaying too much in the back. Feeling nice and strong and tall through your torso as you stack your shoulders on top of your hips and your head right on top of your shoulders. It's always nice to close your eyes here because you can really focus inward and feel yourself engaging the muscles as you build your spine. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears, roll them back, really feel your collarbones spread left to right as the shoulder blades spill down the back of your spine. And then keeping that core engaged here, just take a few deep breaths in through your nose and then let it all go through your mouth. And notice when you're filling up with breath and you're breathing in, that you try to keep your shoulders from creeping up towards your ears. So keep your shoulders nice and heavy, even as you're filling up. 2 more times like that. Inhale. Feel the rib cage expand. Exhale, let it go. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, let it go. And let's just join together with 3 ohms to start class and kind of set the tone, marking the mental beginning of our class. So breathe in 1 more time, fill up. And with that breath, let's om. 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 Sit for a few more rounds of breath as that vibration starts to awaken your body. And you start to engage that Ujjayi breath, right? It's that sort of deep oceanic sound at the back of your throat. The air is coming in and out of your nose. Your lips are gently closed, right? It's not a forceful blowing out of your nose. You really focus the breath back in your throat, and it will happen naturally. 2 more rounds of breath here, just finding your center. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Let's try and keep our eyes closed here for the beginning of class while we're still seated. And then inhale, just reach your arms out to the side, up overhead. Gently tilt your chin up toward the sky. Maybe joining your palms in prayer, maybe not. If they're not in prayer, keep your shoulders, your wrists coming like right out of your shoulders. So straight up to the sky. Good, and you may have found that your back gently sort of arched to the lower back. Try to tuck it back in. Bring your ribs back into the midline. Gently tuck your tail down, right? Find length in the front body here. I find when my eyes are closed, I can focus more on that, right? Like you're really knowing where your body is. Take a deep inhale, reach a little bit higher toward the sky. And then as you exhale, let your arms fall down next to your side. Ground your left hand down next to your hip and just take a nice big side bend, grounding down through the right sit bone, reaching up and then over with the right arm. Thinking about your body staying nice and sort of like you're in between 2 panes of glass, so not sending your torso way back or way forward. Try to stay nice and centered here. Reaching up and over, gently tilt your chin up toward your elbow if your neck is ready. 1 more breath here. Good, inhale, reach back up through center, just switch sides. Right hand comes down, left sit bone grounds. Reach it up and over. Keep your core gently engaged, it's hard here. Good. 2 more breaths, just opening up, starting to warm up the body. Finding all those nooks and crannies in the side body. Inhale, take it back up overhead. Interlace your fingers, press your palms up toward the sky. Again, engage your core here. Don't let your back sway too much. Stay nice and tall and strong. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears as you reach your palms toward the sky. Good, and then as you exhale, start to tuck your chin toward your chest, gently round your spine, press those interlaced palms forward, right? So you're rounding through your back. And either stay here, you can kind of just sway side to side like you're turning a steering wheel, stretching through the armpits, through the top of the shoulder here, just going side to side, a very small motion. Good, but keep pressing those palms forward. One more time to each side if you're swaying. Keep pressing forward. Good, then come back to center, reach those interlaced palms up overhead and then bring them to the back of your head here. Press your head into your palms as your palms press back into your head. Good, spread the elbows nice and wide, pull the shoulders down. Find a nice opening in the chest here, maybe gaze up a tiny bit. And then exhale, start to curl your chin in towards your chest as you join your elbows in front of you. It's like a butterfly, good. Inhale, keep that contact of your head and your palms as you open up. And then exhale, curl it back in. Last time here, inhale, open up, really press your head into your palm and your palms back into your head. Stretch your elbows side to side. Good, then reach your arms up overhead, bring them down to the mat. Roll over your knees here. You're still nice and open in your shoulders and your chest here. Come into a tabletop position. You can open your eyes here, keep them closed. Good, and then just start to make some circles with your hips. Just find where you are today. Do what feels like organic and right for you. Right, we probably all have busy weekends, maybe a lot of sitting. I had a lot of driving to do. So just try and open up and honor where you are. Right, if your back is feeling tight, then focus on your back today, right? If you're working on your core, focus on your core. Do what feels good. All of your muscles are engaged in these poses, but it's hard to focus on everything at once. Good. Make one more circle in each direction. Then come back to center, come to tabletop. This time, flip your palms around so that your fingers are facing your knees here. We'll kind of do double duty. So we're gonna open up our forearms and our wrists and do cat-cow at the same time. So try to press down into the palms as you arch your spine, spread your sit bones, lift your gaze. And then exhale, press into the palms and use that power to round your spine. Good, already talking about the foundations, like building these from the bottom up. Good, inhale, arch it up. Spread those sit bones, pull your heart through your shoulders. And then exhale, press down to round your spine, like tuck that tailbone down. Tuck your chin in toward your chest. And then come back to neutral. Bring the tops of your hands to the mat this time. Fingers facing each other, so you're like this. I don't know if you can see me. Good. And then with your fingers facing each other, press into the backs of your hands to straighten your arms. And this might be enough. This is a really intense stretch. You can rock side to side or make little circles here, finding where the weight changes in your palm and where you find that tight spot. Or you can stop in the center and start to make little fists with your fingers, really curling in through each knuckle. Beautiful. I know this is torture. It's good for you though. It never gets easier. Good. One more time. Fist it in, squeeze it in, then release your fingers. Place your palms back on the mat here. Keep your left palm grounded. Reach your right arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, thread it under your left, bring your right shoulder and right cheek down to the mat. Walking your left fingertips up overhead as you pull your hips back in space, finding a nice long stretch here down the side body. Inhale here and exhale. Beautiful. Walk that hand back in, just sweep it back up and over. Right palm comes back down. Left palm sweeps up toward the sky. Reach up, let your gaze follow. And as you exhale, just find this nice opening here. Good. Walk your right fingertips up overhead. Find a nice long stretch here. Keep pulling your hips back in space as you reach your fingers forward. Your shoulder and cheek are heavy down into the mat. One more breath here. Beautiful. Walk your right palm back in. Sweep that left arm up to the sky. Return yourself to tabletop. Tuck your toes under here. Good, and then just hover for a moment. Really pretend like you have a block squeezing in between your thighs. You should feel some nice engagement in your core here. Pull your navel up towards your spine. Then maybe rock back and forth to open up the backs, the bottoms of your feet here. Good, pressing into the mat, really spread those fingers nice and wide. Give yourself as big a foundation as you can in these poses, right? Take up as much space as you can. Beautiful, and then keeping your knees bent as long as possible, start to send your hips back up in space. Press your palms into the mat. Keep your heels as high as you can. Good, and then when your hips are as high as they go, start to straighten your legs as your heels drop into the mat. Swaying back and forth, first downward facing dog here. Pedaling it out. Release your neck by nodding yes, shaking your head no. All right, keeping that nice long neck here, no tension in the neck. Keep your shoulders pulling down your spine. Press into the mat, maybe lift your fingers, just use your palms here. Notice that what that does is you send your hips back, right? It lengthens the side body. We're not dumping all the way into the fingertips. One more breath here. Good, then come high up on your toes. Oh, I forgot, as always, you can start your playlist. Sorry, guys. And then come high on your toes, drop both heels to the right. Keep pressing through your palms evenly. Your chest is pressing squarely back toward the back of the mat. Good, heels are dropped. You can bend into one knee or the other, kind of see where that opens up the outer hips in this little twist. Then come back through center, high on your heels, drop both of them to the left here. But extra pressure, extra pressing down through the right palm, right? Because you want to find that line, that, I can't talk today, the length through the side body. Bend into one knee and then the other in this awkward downward facing dog. And then come high up on your toes here. Pull your navel in towards your chest. Gently walk your feet to the top of the mat, arriving there with your feet hips width distance apart. Gently bend your knees here. Good. Let your torso and head hang heavy. Gently bend your knees and feel the opening up your hamstrings all the way to like where your tush meets your legs there. Head is hanging heavy. Pressing your feet into the mat, really feeling that foundation. And then keep pressing into the mat with your feet as you straighten your legs and fold down a little bit deeper. Maybe grasping opposite elbows, swaying side to side here. Good. Neck hang heavy. Then keep your elbows clasped, keep your ears by your biceps, and then just start to roll yourself up. Really tuck in, bend into your knees. Tuck your tailbone down, roll through every vertebra as you roll up. Use your core to lift you. And then with your elbows still held, just take a little back bend here. Pressing into the mat, take your gaze up, press your elbows back. Then inhale, release your fingers toward the sky. And as you exhale, bring your arms by your side, Tadasana. Good, nice juicy stretches this morning. Come to the top of your mat. Just take a moment here to dedicate your practice. Think about your intentions for your day, for your week, about the energy you're creating and where you want to send it, where you want to share it with the world. Bring your arms by your side. You can keep your knees gently bent, which is always a great option if you're having back pain, right? Kind of releases space, or if you're just working on some new things, just finding new areas of your body, or nice straight legs. Do what feels good for you. As you inhale, reach your arms up overhead, maybe your palms press. Exhale, fold it down. Just warming up with some sun salutations, doing what's familiar. Inhale, lengthen and look forward. Maybe bend your knees a second here. Send your tush back as your heart moves forward. Pausing here. It's like a half skiers pose. Good. Find that length in your hamstrings. And then as you exhale, plant your palms into the mat and then step or jump back and lowering down to chaturanga, keeping your elbows squeezing in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press the tops of your feet into the mat as you pull your heart up and through. Exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. You can pedal it out, but then try to find some stillness, right? We're never truly still, but try to still the body, right? Your heart is always beating, but try to find some stillness and steadiness in the pose. Inhale here. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold it down. Again, soft knees or straight knees. As you inhale, press your feet into the mat. As you rise up, palms press overhead. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. Again, inhale, reach it out, building a little bit of heat here. Exhale, folding it down. Inhale here to lengthen. Maybe take an extra breath if you liked it on the other side. Oh, we did it on the first time. And then plant your palms, step or jump back, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press evenly into your hands here. Think about your hands pressing evenly, not rolling in or out. And pull your shoulders back. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale here. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise up, reach up, palms pressed nice and strong. And then exhale, fold it right back down. Keep your core engaged. Inhale here to lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back, lowering down. Inhale, roll it forward, come to upward facing dog. And then exhale, take it to downward facing dog. Inhale. There's like something so comforting about downward facing dog. It feels so good. Right? And so you can just kind of use it as a break, or if you want to try and work a little bit deeper, try to roll the eyes of your elbows forward. Feel your shoulders move away from your ears, like down your back. And your neck like kind of lengthen out like a turtle. Good. And then tuck your chin in. Finding lots of space between your ears and your shoulders there. One more breath. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise up, reach up, palms press. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. Hooking your thumbs out in front of you as you inhale. Reach up, look up, arch back, keep that tail tucked and the ribs pulling in as you lift your heart up toward the sky. Exhale, bend knees, swing arms, clasp hands, fold down over straight legs, crown of your head pulling down. Inhale, hands to the mat, step your right foot back to a lunge, gaze ahead. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward to plank, keep squeezing into the midline as you exhale, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide it forward to cobra. Exhale, push it back, seat to heels, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward to a lunge. Exhale, left foot forward, fold it down. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, reach up, look up, arch back, kind of building our heat through this little dance that we do. Good, and then bend knees, swing arms, clasp hands, fold. Let your breath guide you. Hands to the mat, left foot steps back, lunge. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up dog, press those feet into the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide it to cobra. Exhale, push it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward to a lunge. Exhale, right foot forward, fold it down. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, reach up, look up, arch back. Good, again, bend knees, swing arms, clasp hands, fold it down, adding on here. Hands come to the mat, step your right foot back to a lunge. Pause here as you drop your right knee to the mat. Maybe keep your toes tucked under and see how that feels as you sweep your arms up in the Anjaneyasana. Right, more to press down into when you have your toes tucked, to lift your torso. Think about pulling your hips up away from the mat and tucking your tail down rather than sinking down here. Good, keep lifting up toward the sky, nice straight spine, tucking that tailbone down. If you have your right toes tucked, see what happens when you release the top of your foot to the mat. Notice the difference, right? Nothing's good or bad, it's just different. Engages different muscles here. Hold it here for one more breath. As you exhale, bring your hands to the mat on either side of your front foot. Just straighten your left leg into a fold here. Good, half split. So take a breath here to pull your heart forward, press your left heel into the mat and then fold it down, making every movement intentional. Keep pulling that left hip right back and in. Good, heart is moving forward. You can even press your hands into the mat and pretend you're dragging them back, really activating through your heart center here. One more breath. As you exhale, bend into that left knee, step back to plank, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, squeezing into the midline. Inhale, slide it forward to cobra. Exhale, push it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward to a lunge. Pause here. Press your feet into the mat as you reach it up to high lunge. Good. Get your footing here. You may have to make some adjustments. You want each foot in its own lane, right? Nice deep bend in that right knee. Stacking your knee right over your hip. So maybe that means like shortening your stance a little bit. I've been trying to work on that a little bit because it strengthens your quad, right? Instead of flopping into wherever you're open. Squeeze your outer hips in, lift your heart center, and then take a twist to the right. Keeping your hips squeezing in for steadiness. Twist from your rib cage as you gaze behind you toward your right fingertips. Inhaling here and exhaling. One more inhale, squeeze it in. And as you exhale, stay twisted, bring your left palm to the mat, take this nice open twist. Feel your right foot pressing into the mat and pulling your right hip back and in. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, right hand comes down, left foot steps forward, fold it down. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, reach up, look up, arch it back. As you exhale, bend knees, swing arms, clasp hands, fold it down. Inhale, hands to the mat, left foot steps back to a lunge. Good, keep your toes tucked if you can and drop your left knee to the mat. Lift your torso up into Anjaneyasana, right? But not sinking. Take a moment here. Use your back foot to tuck your tailbone under, if that makes sense. Right? Find strength. It's very isolated here. Really use that thigh. Take an inhale here, and then sweep your arms up toward the sky. Keep tucking your tail under. Hold it here, lift your heart, and maybe untuck your toes and just notice the difference, right? Activates different muscles. Inhale here. As you exhale, hands come down to either side of your front foot. Straighten your right leg as you send your hips back. Take an inhale here to lengthen your spine forward, and then exhale, fold down into this half split. Good, releasing. Keeping it engaged, right? It's a nice safe way to open. So keeping it engaged here. All the muscles up your right leg. Pull your right hip back and in. One more breath here. As you exhale, bend into your right knee. Step back to plank, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide it forward to cobra. Pull your heart through. Exhale, push it back, squeeze the heels, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps forward to a lunge. Press through your feet and lift up into your high lunge. Pausing here. Again, rib cage comes in. Tuck that tail a little bit. You might want to even bend your right knee a little bit to find the space and then straighten back out. Lift your heart center nice and strong, nice and tall in your torso. And as you exhale, take a twist to the left. Good. Keep squeezing your hips in for balance. Gaze over your left fingertips behind you. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears here. One more breath. Exhale, right hand comes down. Just take this nice open twist. Keep pressing through that left foot. Feel what that does to lift your left thigh, like from the bottom up. Not letting it sink. And then opening up that left outer hip. One more breath here. As you exhale, left hand comes down, right foot steps forward, fold it down. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, reach up, look up, arch back. As you exhale, arms come to your side, Tadasana. Good, take a breath here, reset. Everybody doing okay? Awesome, I know I'm like in a weird place today, so it might be hard to see me. Hopefully you're following along. Beautiful, come back to the top of your mat. Toes and heels come back to touching here. Really, before you even bend into your knees, feel yourself squeezing into the midline, right? Like you're squeezing a little ball between your thighs. And with that squeeze, start to drop your hips as you bend your knees into Utkatasana, chair pose. Send the weight back into your heels here. Pull your navel in, then tuck your tailbone down to lift your chest. Inhale here, one more breath. As you exhale, fold down over your straightened legs. Inhale here to lengthen. Maybe pull the weight into your toes here, come up on your tiptoes here. Just notice the difference. Gaze is ahead, pause here, keep squeezing into the midline, lift your heels a little bit higher. And as you exhale, put your feet back on the mat, palms come down, step or jump back, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward, rise up to warrior one, pause here. Beautiful. Again, start at your feet. Like mentally do a checklist up your body. So press those feet into the mat and then pull your hips square to the front of the mat. That back foot is like the steering wheel. So press that into the mat to pull your hips forward. Then tuck your tail under, lift your heart, nice long front body here. Inhaling, bend a little bit deeper into that right knee. And as you exhale, press through your right foot to straighten your right leg. Hands come behind you to your lower back as you interlace your fingers, press into your feet to lift your heart. And as you exhale, bend back into warrior legs as you fold down into humble warrior. Your whole torso on the inside of your right leg. Take a few breaths here to sink in. Right, keep pressing through those feet, lifting your hips up and then making room for your torso to fold a little bit deeper. Crown of your head is pressing toward the mat. Inhale here. Exhale. Next inhale, bring your torso halfway up. Lift your back heel, place your left hand on the mat and come back into this open twist for just a breath. Pausing here. Good, find nice strong foundation. And then roll to the outer edge of your left foot and make your way into your version of extended side plank here. So you can have your top foot in tree. You can lift your leg, you can take the toe bind. Do what feels good to you. Most important is to press through that foot and lift your hips away from the mat. Keep your heart centered toward the side of the room. One more breath here. Good, wherever you are, drop your right foot behind you, reversing, like flipping your dog here. Pausing, really press into those feet, tuck your tail. Take your gaze behind you. One more breath. And as you exhale, right hand comes down, right leg lifts up toward the sky. And then thread your right foot under your left arm, coming into this fallen triangle. Good, so really press those feet into the mat as you open your heart toward the sky. From here, a few options. You can take your hand to the back of your head and open up a little bit further with that pressure. And maybe even just try bending into your knees here for just a moment, making some space, and then using your feet to straighten your legs and see if you can find more opening in your hips. One more breath. As you exhale, left hand comes back down, right leg sweeps up toward the sky. And either come to downward facing dog to plank, or you can try to do a one-legged plank here. Good. Coming forward. And then lowering down to chaturanga, then dropping that right foot. Inhale, come to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Reach it up, hold it here. Right, some of these foundational poses we don't always hold, we kind of just flow through them. Let's pause here. Press into your feet. Bend into your left knee here. And then really think about tucking, especially your right tailbone down toward your right heel. Opening up the front body, feeling nice and strong. Pull those ribs in as you lift your heart center. One more breath. As you exhale, press into your feet to straighten your left leg. Arms come behind you. Interlace those fingers. And then again, really feel your feet starting the activity here. So press into your feet to lift your heart center as your knuckles pull down toward the floor. And as you exhale, bend into your left knee. Take it down into your humble warrior. Folding forward. Keep it active though. Keep pressing into those feet to lift your hips. Inhaling here. Exhaling, one more breath. Good, inhale, bring your torso halfway up, release your hands, right hand comes to the mat as your right heel spins up toward the sky. Take it open into this nice open twist, just finding your grounding here. So feel your right palm pressing into the mat. Nice and strong right under your shoulder. And then start to roll onto the outer edge of your back foot, taking your version, but side plank here. Try to do what you did on the other side unless you have an injury. Good, try to keep your torso facing the side of the room as you lift your gaze, right? It's a hard one. One more breath here. As you exhale, drop your left foot behind you, coming into rock star or flipping your dog, whatever you want to call it. Reaching behind you with your left hand, maybe taking your palm to the back of your head. Good. Opening up here. One more breath. As you exhale, take your left hand down, left leg sweeps up toward the sky. And as you exhale, take it across, thread it under your right arm, coming into falling triangle. Again, finding your foundation here. Opening your heart. Maybe the hand to the back of the head here. Maybe see what happens when you bend into your knees. It's kind of awkward, but then press into your feet and feel that activation all the way up the front of your legs here. As you open up a little bit higher. Exhale, right hand comes down. Either come through plank, a traditional vinyasa, or try a one-legged, keeping your left leg hovering but strong as you lower down to chaturanga and then drop the foot to come into upward facing dog. Exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Good, 3 breaths. Reset here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, if you're down in child's pose, meet us back in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, lift your right leg up toward the sky, 3-legged dog. As you exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest, try hugging it in here, holding it, pressing down, spreading your shoulder blades. One more breath. As you exhale, gently place your right foot in between your hands. Come up to high lunge for just a breath. And then exhale, open up to warrior 2. Again, let's pause here. Right knee is pressing out. Tuck that tailbone under. Really feel the opening in the front of your hips, both of them. Good. Pressing into your feet, gazing over your fingertips. Pull those shoulders down. One more breath here. Then flip and reverse your warrior, reaching away with your hands. Keep bending forward with that knee. And then come forward into your version of extended side angle. So that could mean many things, right? You can do a modified, which is amazing. Finds lots of space in your hip crease by pressing down. Wherever you are, just keep those foundations. Press into those feet. Pull your hips toward the side of the room. You can bring your hand to the outside of your foot, the inside of your foot. You can take a bind if your shoulders are ready. Good, wherever you are, just settle in. Breathe a little deeper into every pose. Keep your heart twisting toward the side and then the sky. Inhaling here and exhaling. Good. And then wherever you are, even if you have the bind, I want you to press into your right foot to straighten your right leg, coming into this long triangle. Keep your torso down if you're bound. Good. And then bend back into side angle or warrior legs. Again, use your feet to straighten your right leg. Open it up. One more time, bend into that knee. And then press into your feet to come into triangle and hold here. Good, you can shorten your stance if you want, or you can keep this long version of the triangle. You can try to lift your front toe, your right toes up off the mat, really press into that, the ball of the right foot there. See what that does to your hips. It kind of takes the activity all the way up to your hips, your inner hips. One more breath here. Good, staying down in triangle, take your left arm overhead, keep opening your heart toward the side. Maybe lift your right arm to meet it, hold that beach ball, keep twisting your heart open, and then inhale, come all the way up to stand. Right toes face the left side of the mat. Bring your hands to your waist here. Again, maybe soft knees, see what it does. Inhale here to lift your heart, shoulders back, and then exhale, fold forward. Let your heart lead the way here. And then let your head drop. The crown of your head is pulling you down. You can release your hands to the mat. Inhaling here. And exhaling. If you want to come upside down, now's an opportunity. We have about 3 more breaths here. If you're not going upside down, maybe just try to bend into your knees. Send your hips back in space. And again, press into your feet to straighten your legs. Maybe find some more opening up the back of your legs. Inhale here. And exhale. Good. Next inhale, bring your torso halfway up. Just, you can turn your left toes out. We're just going to take a skandasana to the back of the mat. So this one, for this version, we're going to lift our right toes up. So you're on your right heel. And you have a couple options here with your, you can stay where you are. You can use your hands to kind of open your hips in either direction. You can walk your hands out to open your back. You can take a twist by taking your left arm out in front of your left leg and reaching your right arm toward the sky and maybe binding it. We're here for about 3 more breaths. Just hold it. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Then try with your feet. We've been doing a lot of footwork. Press into your feet to lift your hips and try to switch it to the other side with no hands. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. So now your left toes are facing the sky. You're pressing your left heel onto the mat. And do what feels good for your hips here or your back, right? You can take the bind, you can open up with the twist, or you can walk it forward into down dog arms. Holding here, keep pressing into those feet. 1 more breath. Go wherever you are, start to walk yourself back to the front of the mat, hands to either side of your front foot as you step your right foot back, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. What do we do here? Oh, reach your left leg up toward the sky. Hold it there. And as you exhale, roll forward to plank, hug your knee in towards your chest. Pause here. Really squeeze it in, use your core. And as gently as possible, place your left foot in between your hands. Rise up for a breath in high lunge. And then exhale, peel it open to warrior 2. Beautiful. Set yourself up, adjust your feet. Tuck your tail, and then open that left knee. Shoulders pull down, nice long neck here as you gaze over your fingertips. 1 more breath. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep bending deeply into that left knee as you reach away from it. And then exhale, make your way into your extended side angle. Again, you can start somewhere and kind of work deeper. Do what feels good for you. Try to do the same as you do on the other side unless you have injuries. Right, it may feel different, but it's nice to kind of even yourself out. Keep tucking your tail forward as you reach your heart toward the side of the room. Maybe you have the bind here. 1 more breath inside angle. Good, and then wherever you are, leave your arms as they are and start to press into your left foot to straighten your leg. Keep your heart moving toward the side of the room. Exhale, bend back into warrior legs. Again, use your left foot to press into the mat. Use that to straighten your leg as you open up your heart to the side. Exhale, bend. Take it nice and slow. It gets really deep. Last time here, straighten it out by pressing into the mat with your foot. Then release your hands down and come into triangle. Or you can keep them bound. It doesn't really matter, wherever you're feeling good. Adjust your feet if you need to. You want to keep pulling your hips forward. Good, reaching your right fingertips toward the sky. Engage your core here, tuck it in, like pull it in. Think about hollowing out your belly to pull your hips forward. 1 more breath. Good, then start to take your right hand over your ear, reaching toward the side, front of the room here. Keep your heart open. Good, maybe bring your left arm to grab that imaginary beach ball without twisting your torso down. 1 more breath. Inhale, come all the way up. All the toes face the right side of the mat this time. I want you to interlace your fingers behind you. Pull them down as you open your heart. Press your feet down. Find length in the front body. And exhale, fold it down. Keep your shoulders pulling away from your ears and your collarbone widening. Good. Take a moment here to lift your shoulders away from the ground, away from your ears. And then start to take your fisted fingers overhead. Good, no crunching in the neck. Breathe here, press into the mat. Don't forget about those feet. 1 more breath here. Good. Inhale, come halfway up. Just release your hands under your shoulders. And we're going to take Skandasana to the back of the mat. But this time, try to keep your left, the sole of your left foot attached to the mat. So turn your right toes out a little bit. You probably won't go as low, right? Keep pressing into the mat, feeling that inner thigh maybe. You can use your right elbow to kind of press your right knee open. Beautiful. Hold it here. Different stretch, different parts of the hip, different parts of the leg. 1 more breath. Good. And then you can try to lift your hands and take it to the other side. Turn your left toes out a little bit. Keep that right foot attached to the mat. The whole sole of your foot is pressing down unless you have some kind of injury or hurt you. And use that to lengthen the inseam of that leg. Good, guys. Beautiful. 1 more breath here. Press those feet. And then as you exhale, walk your hands to either side of your front foot. Step your left foot back, lowering down to chaturanga or meet us in downward facing dog. You're doing the vinyasa up dog And then exhale, take it to downward facing dog. Breathe it out, 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Next, inhale, reach your right leg up toward the sky. Come high on your left toes. We've done this before, usually toward the beginning of class. Bend gently into your left knee. Feel your chest move back a little bit more as your right toes reach up a little bit higher. Good. And then keeping this split, just let your left heel come down to the mat. So you're still in a 3-legged dog. Nice strong top leg here. Bend your knee and open your hip. And then start to make these circles that we usually do at the beginning of class. Notice if it feels different. We're toward the end of class now. Good. 3 in each direction. Nice and slow. Feeling your hip. Good. After your third one in the second direction, lift that right leg up toward the sky one more time. As you exhale, bring your right foot in between your hands, coming into a high lunge for just a breath. Then hands come to heart center, start to tip your torso forward, engage your core, make your way into warrior 3. Again, maybe bend that standing leg, start to tip your torso forward, and when it kind of gets into place, then straighten your legs out as you engage them, lifting yourself. Use your core here for balance. One more breath. As you exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Start to peel yourself open into your half moon pose. Maybe bending that knee again. I know I say it a lot, but it can help, right? It can just change the perspective of how you build these poses and where you're engaging. Gaze goes up if you have your balance here. One more breath. As you exhale, left hand comes down. Start to walk your hands back towards your foot. Take an inhale here to lengthen forward and then fold it down into standing split. Inhaling and exhaling. Lift your left toes a little higher. Good. As you exhale, just float your left leg to the back of the mat. Plant your palms. Either meet us in down dog or go through your vinyasa, stepping back to plank, lowering down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg this time, reach it for the sky. Good, take this a few breaths here. Come high on those right toes. Bend gently into that right knee as you send your chest back and lift your left toes a little higher. Think about your core moving your leg, right? Not just your leg flopping around up there. Keeping it nice and strong all the way from the sort of the origin of the muscle. Inhale here. Good, then keeping those left toes nice and high, just straighten your right leg, drop your right heel. Start to peel your hips open now, bending into your left knee, stacking your hips. Good, exploring our hips at a different time in the practice when our body is warm. Maybe rolling the hips in one direction with a straight or a bent leg. We'll try some of each and then switching directions. Beautiful. Send that left leg up toward the sky. Roll forward to plank, hold it here for just a moment, and then gently place your left foot in between your hands, lift it up to high lunge. Exhale, hands to heart center, nice and strong, engage your core, and then start to tip yourself forward into your warrior 3. Don't watch me, I have terrible balance. Maybe a gentle bend in that left knee. Gentle bend in your right knee too, right? But keep your seat engaged here as you find your balance and then straighten everything out. One more breath. Left hand comes down. Gentle bend in the left knee as you start to peel your hips open toward the side of the room. And then press into your left foot to straighten everything out, opening up. One more breath. As you exhale, right hand comes down, lengthen your spine forward, engage your core. And as you exhale, start to walk it back into standing leg split. Breathing here, inhaling, and exhaling at the crown of your head, pull you down. One more breath. As you exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat, meet in down dog or take the vinyasa. Inhale, up dog if you're moving through. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's bring our knees down to the mat. You can come into child's pose here. Either, if you usually do it with your toes touching your knees out, try to do it with your thighs together. Just see what the difference is. Maybe you'll love it, maybe you'll hate it. Right? Maybe you would be indifferent about it, but just try something new.
Let the crown of your, like the forehead come down to the mat. Keep your hips nice and heavy here. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Start to crawl yourself forward, stay low, bring yourself all the way forward onto your belly here. Prop yourself up onto your forearms. Take a moment here to check that your elbows are right under your shoulders and that your forearms are nice and parallel here. Tuck your toes under. Engage your core. Pretend you're squeezing a block in between your thighs and then pull yourself into this forearm plank. Keep pulling your tailbone down towards your heels as your belly button moves up towards your spine. Nice and strong. Your torso is like a rock here. Good. Hold it here. Beautiful. We have 5 or 6 more breaths here. You can stay, which is super hard, or you can try to do these knee taps, bringing your knee up to your forearms on either side, switching sides maybe 3 times each. Again, use your core to move your legs. Think about that. Nice and strong here. If you're walking it out, one more time to each side. Beautiful. Then bring your knees to the mat, untuck your toes. Bring your torso down and just take a break. Maybe rock your hips side to side. You can keep your third eye down in the mat or turn your cheek to one side, whatever's comfortable for your neck here. Breathing it in and breathing it out. Good, one more time, let's come into our forearm plank. Tucking down, making your torso nice and strong. It's like a rock, right? Everything's squeezing into the midline. And then start to walk your feet towards your elbows, coming into this forearm downward facing dog. It's sometimes called dolphin pose. Beautiful. Bend your knees a little bit here. Send your chest back as your armpits lift up away from the mat here. And then straighten your legs. Maybe walk your feet a little bit closer in. Send your chest a little bit closer to your thighs. Holding it here for 6 breaths, or maybe lifting one leg at a time. If forearm stand is in your practice, Pinchamayurasana, now is the time to do it. Keeping a nice engaged core, which is hard when you're upside down, right? Lifting your legs, try to bring the weight forward into your forearms here. Get that sensation of buoyancy. And after you're done, walk it back out. You can come into a child's pose, just for a breath or 2. Beautiful. Now roll yourself forward onto your belly again. If you guys can see me. We're gonna send our right arm out to the side, directly out from us. So we're laying on our belly, right arm is out directly to the side, and then you're gonna roll on your right side and open up your chest, start to bring your left arm behind you. Think about your hands meeting in this T position, right? So your left hip is up and over, take your left arm around. Think about joining your hands behind you. Keep pressing your right shoulder into the mat and use that to open your heart, to open your chest, open your shoulders here. If you're totally flipped over and you have both sit bones down on the mat, you can take your left leg into like a figure 4 and open up your hips a little bit more. There's lots of options in this pose. Beautiful. One more breath. And then come back through center, lying on your belly, switching sides. Your left arm comes straight out to the side. Start to roll on your left side. Your right hip lifts up. Start to roll yourself over. You can use your right leg for stability here, right? Like you can bend your knee and put your foot into the mat. Keep that pressure of your left shoulder in the mat and use that to open your heart, right? This is a heart opening pose. It's a nice one because it doesn't involve too much of a back bend, right? You can really focus on your heart center here. Maybe take your right foot into a figure 4, open up your hip if that's your thing here. Beautiful, come back to center. Bring your hands by your rib cage. Just take a lazy cobra here, a nice heavy cobra. Let your legs hang down as you pull your heart forward. Tuck your toes under and send it back to downward facing dog. Good, from your downward facing dog, reach your right leg up toward the sky. And as you exhale, let's come into pigeon pose. So your right knee comes behind your right wrist. And your shin is as parallel to the mat as is comfortable, and as much as you want to keep your hips squared. So you may have to bring your right heel in a little bit more. Wherever you are, the idea is to fold over your shin, not to fold over your knees. So make sure you're centered over your shin. Take an inhale here as you walk your hands back to lift your heart, maybe tuck that left tailbone down a little bit. And then with this space, start to walk yourself forward, letting your heart lead the way, folding down over your right shin. If it's super easy where you are, start to walk your shin more parallel, like moving your heel away from your pubic bone and taking it out a little bit to the side, but keeping folding over the shin. Right, your hips are evenly pulling down to the mat, you're not rolling to either side. Inhaling here and exhaling. Good. Inhale, walk it back up. You may need to adjust your foot a little bit. I do because of my knee. We're going to take a thigh stretch here. So you want to press into your legs to lift your torso up off the mat. I don't know if you can see me. I'm like lifted up. My torso is lifted. Bend into your left knee. Reach your left arm around for your leg. And before we pull it in, I want you can use your right hand on your right leg to press it down. Kick your left leg back. You can flex your foot. And it's opening up your left shoulder here. Your torso is turning to the side. Really kick back and then fight it with your hand. One more breath here. And then start to square your shoulders toward the front of the room as you pull your left heel in towards your seat without losing that engagement of the core, right? Your back's going to naturally be a little arched here, but try to protect it by tucking your tailbone down. You should feel some extra opening also in your thigh. One more breath here. Beautiful. As you exhale, just release the bind if you have it. Press your hands into the mat. Sweep your right arm up, the right leg up to the sky. One more breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Switching sides, reach that left leg up toward the sky. And then very slowly and controlled, start to come forward into pigeon, right? Bring your left knee behind your left wrist. Setting it up. Adjusting your shin where it needs to be. Feeling nice and strong again in your foundation. Walk your hands back by your hips. Open up. Pressing down to open up. And then exhale, fold it forward. Keeping your heart pulling forward, right? Nice long torso even on the front side. Drop your neck when you get where you're going. Release down. Use the weight of your body to pull you deeper into the pose. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale, walk your torso back up. Adjust your legs a little bit if you need to. Good, then press into your legs. It'll be your right kind of around your knee and your left shin here. Use that to lift your torso up. You can even open your heart here, right? Do what feels good, but use the strength of your foundation to lift you. And then bend your right leg. Start to turn your torso a little to the right to open your shoulder. Good, and then start to kick back with your right foot as you open that shoulder. Right, your leg is really pressing back here. One more breath. Good, and then as you exhale, start to pull your heel in towards your seat. Square your shoulders forward. Keep that nice lift as you open up the front thigh, the right thigh there. Good, tuck it in, one more breath. Good, as you exhale, release the bind. Lean into your left hip and just pull your right leg around to the front. We'll take a nice straddle pose here. My legs are out to the side. I don't know if you can see them, sorry. No location problems here today. Good. Take your hands behind you. Really find the space. Maybe tip a little bit forward on your sit bones. Open your heart. Press your legs into the mat. And then just fold it down. Walking yourself down. You can stay on your hands. Come to forearms. Drop your torso. Wherever you are that you can feel the challenge and keep your legs engaged. Right? From here, again, wherever your hands are, press your heels into the mat, gently bend your knees. That are going to lift a tiny bit off the mat and pretend you're pulling your heels into the midline here. Hold it here, really engage. Good, press down, one more breath. Whew. And then exhale, release it back down, maybe folding a little bit deeper. It's always these tiny little moves that get really, really deep, right? You don't expect it. One more breath here. Good, inhale, walk it back up. Take your hands behind your thighs. Bend your legs. Bring your legs back into the midline here. Stretch them out in front of you. Bring your fingertips to the mat, and we're just gonna hollow out our bellies as much as possible. So really think about your tailbone pulling down towards your heels And slowly dragging your fingers down along your legs to pull yourself down to your backs here. Take it as slowly as you can. Really use your core. Feel each vertebra imprint into the mat. Beautiful. When you get where you're going, we're going to just come into a shoulder stand here. Nice way to kind of start to slow our bodies down, sealing all this energy. You can also do waterfall, which is just lifting your legs and leaving your torso on the mat. So if you're doing shoulder stand, you're going to pop your hips up, take your hands to your lower back. Your fingers are facing toward the ceiling, taking up lots of space on your lower back, and then shimmy your shoulders and your elbows in a little bit more toward the midline to lift your legs up a little bit higher. And again, tuck your tail up towards your heels. Keep those legs active. Right, you can even try bringing your legs into Baddha Konasana here. Right, joining the soles of your feet and bending your knees out to the side. Just feeling the difference. One more breath here, upside down. And then slowly start to let your toes fall behind your head, coming into cloud pose. Releasing your hands down the mat if your toes touch. You can interlace them, right? So your toes are moving in one direction, you're pulling your palms in the other direction if they're released. Holding it here, sending breath to your lower back. Good, then bend your knees to either side of your head, giving your ears a little squeeze, Pranapidasana. Letting your shins feel really heavy, like your calves feel heavy. Take another breath here. As you exhale, straighten those legs back out, arms come down the mat, and very slowly start to make your way all the way back down. Good, taking those legs nice and long, like think about the hip creases coming nice and long toward the front of the room. Lengthening, lengthening, lengthening as long as you can. Beautiful. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Just rock and roll back and forth 3 times or whatever feels good. Come up to seated. Let's just do one nice forward bend before we wrap it up. Legs out in front of you, high in your sit bones, lifting up. And then exhale, fold forward. Really pull your heart forward. Feel your tush kind of slide out behind you for the back of the room as you pull your torso forward. Release your neck. Breathe it out, slowing down. Good, one more breath. Beautiful, then staying low. Again, attach those fingertips to the mat. Keep your legs engaged, then start to tuck your tail under, tuck your chin, and roll yourself all the way down. Coming into happy baby pose here. Keep your spine lengthening down the mat as you take your knees into your armpits. You're bending your knees, good. And you're grabbing the outsides of your feet, pulling your knees down as your soles of your feet are pushing up toward the sky. Maybe lengthening one leg out to the side like a dancing baby, maybe the other. Good, maybe both. All the while you're keeping your whole spine on the mat, all the way down to your sacrum. It's really hard to do. You may not like bend as much, but you're going to have a much deeper opening by keeping your whole spine stable on the mat. Good, bring your knees back into your chest. Lengthen your legs down the mat. You can take a fish pose here by walking your elbows down towards your hips. Really press into those forearms here to open your collarbone and then drop your head behind you. Crown of your head is pulling down, your chest is puffing up. And 3 times, like we started class, in through your nose and out through your mouth, just clearing out before Shavasana. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times, breathe it in. Let it go. Last time, breathe in, fill up. And as you exhale, start to tuck your chin in towards your chest, rolling yourself down onto your backs. Taking any last poses or supine spinal twists that you might need to do to wrap up your practice before settling into a few moments of Shavasana. And just let yourself be nice and heavy.
Start to deepen your breath as you bring small movements back into your body. Giving yourself the time here to really reawaken. Wiggle your fingers and toes, your wrists and your ankles. Gently rock your head side to side. Really keeping your shoulders pulling down away from your ears. Lift your arms up and behind you, taking a nice big full body stretch. Engage your legs as your toes stretch in the opposite direction. And as you exhale, gather your knees in towards your chest, pausing to give yourself a hug. And with gently closed eyes, rolling through either side, we'll meet back up in a seated position. Finding that nice tall spine. This is my favorite part of class, right? It's like we've done all this work inside and outside, and we come back to end where we began, but everything is so much different. So take a moment to honor this, right? Like shrug your shoulders up by your ears, roll them back, open your heart, and just notice that you've opened your mind and your heart and your body and then your soul here, right? And thank yourself for that. We'll close class together with Loka Samasta. Breathing in, filling up with this beautiful energy. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your hands together, heart center, gently bow your chin in towards your chest. Taking these final moments together on our mats to thank yourself, honor yourself, and celebrate knowing that everything that you need lies right within you. Bring your hands to prayer at your third eye, sealing this all in. And bow forward together. Namaste.